Hello, welcome to game 2 of my match against SSounder in the no terminals mix. I won the first one, and as second player, that gives me a little bit of an edge here going into game 2. But hopefully we'll have a good close game here. So trashing is transmogrify counterfeit, so we can get stuff trashed. Draw is advisor, which is not great, but it's not terrible here. And you've got a little bit of draw with Patrician. You can play with Emporiums. You can try to get thin and play with Chariot Races. I don't see any piles emptying that quickly, so you could play with a Poacher or two if necessary. You can also add Treasure Troves, which are nice with Counterfeit, and Banks, which are nice with a deck that has a lot of treasures in them. So really the only thing I think is transmogrify Silver and try to get quickly into Counterfeit, get rid of your estates, and figure that out from there. If you saw the previous video, apparently I had a missed pile out. I counted that I could only exactly empty piles. I did not take into account the fact that I had one extra estate than my opponent. So, okay, I think 1 silver is going to be enough for now. I'm going to be able to get a Counterfeit next turn. I think no matter what, I think that's guaranteed. I'm going to go in for the Chariot Races now. Seeing Transmogrify turn 3 is really nice. If you don't see it till turn 4, it's pretty sad. Because then you don't get to play it till turn 5, and then you don't get to play it again until turn 8 or something. So get the Counterfeit going. I see it again here, so I'm going to be able to trash another estate. Unless it's the 6th card in the deck. And another Chariot Race. So I think I'm going to get another Counterfeit here pretty quickly. Counterfeit's going to be a good card for the deck. And I want to get rid of coppers and silvers, and then potentially add the Treasure Trove, and then I've got stuff to Counterfeit. I'm also going to start adding advisors once I've got a few coppers trashed. I'm generally okay, playing with advisors, and if they reveal 2 coppers in a Counterfeit and they have to give me 2 coppers, then so be it. But I've also got Chariot Races and stuff. Although that order is right. Okay, so if I Counterfeit copper, I get to 8. So I can buy another Counterfeit in a Chariot Race. And now here I can transmogrify my last estate into a Chariot Race. And then figure out what I want to do from there. Cobbler might be nice to pick up extra actions. You really do want to add a bunch of advisors to this deck to try to draw through. What I was thinking of earlier was that with Advisor, they're almost always going to discard the highest cost card, at least until we have provinces. So like if I reveal 2 coppers in a bank, or copper, silver, bank, they're going to discard bank always. And then if I can draw a deck, then I know I've got a bank sitting on the bottom. It's going to be really nice. So I will get the Cobbler now. Honestly, they might discard a Cobbler or a Counterfeit over a bank. I'm not 100% sure, but I've got 2 Counterfeits, so I'm not super worried about that. They've won 2 Chariot Races already. I haven't won any. That's a little bit sad, but I think, plus or minus 5 Chariot Race hits is probably going to be reasonable here. And I've got a bunch of Chariot Races to play this turn, so hopefully they don't top deck them. Honestly, over the course of a long game, plus or minus 10 isn't probably unreasonable within the margin of variance. You just kind of get big cost cards into your deck and hope that works out, and then along the way try to build a deck that provinces more effectively, is able to get more green. Okay, was able to get a couple things here. So this is 6, 7 money, 8 money. So I get double advisor Chariot Race kind of things. Advisor Chariot Race. I've got a lot of Chariot Races, and I do need to add a little bit more draw to the deck. A lot more draw, to be honest. I may never see this estate with my Transmogrify the way this works, but once you start drawing, you just got to hope the estate's at the top of the shuffle if you want to be able to get rid of it. It's kind of a sad card for my Transmogrify to find, and for my Chariot Races to see. So they've got 7 and 2 buys. They transmogrified. So the chariot races are gone. So this could be like Advisor Patrician, maybe. Patrician's a pretty bad card. Maybe just Advisor Silver. Patrician's a pretty bad card if you're going for the chariot race stack. I know I have a cobbler on top, so I'm going to play my chariot race first. They've got a chariot race. Go ahead and play the Advisor now. Okay, so this is 6 again. So I can counterfeit a silver and then buy double Advisor, which seems good to me. And I will be close to drawing deck soon. How are we in trashing? We've both trashed 2 estates. We've maybe trashed 1 or 2 fewer coppers, but we're plus or minus 1 in that, so that's good. I probably have trashed 1 less, although I have an extra counterfeit, so I would expect to be trashed through the coppers a little bit faster. Especially if you're playing with the treasure troves, you really need to get that second counterfeit because you've got to get through your initial coppers plus the extra coppers from the treasure trove. And even though you are adding a bunch of golds, you're also adding coppers, so the chariot races become swingier. And I don't want to play with too much variance in my chariot races. I think I'm just always taking Advisor here. I don't have anything great down at the bottom. My best card's the Cobbler and the counterfeits, so I can play this Advisor now. As I said, they'll discard the silver, so I'm more likely to hit a chariot race here. So this is 8 again. I'm going to go double Advisor now, and then grab treasure trove next shuffle. And hopefully hit this silver, hit this estate into silver, which is great. Guess I'll discard the treasure trove. It's not super clear to me what the best choice is there. And they have to decide if they want to trigger a shuffle, which I assume that they do. I've got a lot of advisors down here. So in theory, I will be able to draw a ton of deck this turn. Oops, always going to discard the action there. Okay, they found the treasure trove at the top of that shuffle anyways. They're hitting some races, which is nice. Yeah, it looks like they're basically drawing deck. I, in theory, can do that unless I've bottom decked both of my advisors and they discard them both, and then I don't draw clean. Advisor is a pretty swingy card. The makeup of your deck kind of affects what exactly is going to happen fairly quickly. Let's see what they decide to do with 11. Advisor bank is one consideration, certainly. Counterfeit advisor, okay. That's going to be a silver. Try to win some races. I did. Cool. This is not an obvious decision to me. They discard the advisor, okay? If I can get back around, which I can't, but I have a bunch of advisors down there. If I can get back around, I can trigger a shuffle with all advisors. So this is 15, which is kind of where I want to be. And I've got discarded a couple advisors, but my next hand should have at least 1 advisor, a couple chariot races, so some good stuff. So I'm going to get the treasure trove and the bank. If I'm tracking my deck, I could know what this bottom card is, but I assume they will cause me to reveal it. I'm going to discard the chariot races, I think. Discard the advisor. I'm really trying to minimize their ability to draw. Got a chariot race on top, okay. So every chance I have to turn over a draw card, I will probably take. It also helps that the chariot race is cheaper than the gold, so less chance of them drawing. They did manage to draw with with that patrician, which is really nice, given that they've got a bunch of they've got a bunch of 3-4 cost cards in their deck, and still some coppers. I think denying the counterfeit there is right of the cobbler. That now that the 2 key piles are gone, we also need to watch out for some kind of piles running. They seem to have had a pretty decent shuffle here in terms of getting draw. I feel like our draw is about equal. I assume they discard a chariot race. Interesting. Here they discard an advisor. Probably here they discard my bank. I did not find the treasure trove either, but what can you do? Okay, 14. So I wonder if we're already into the province territory at this point. Province. Or do I want to get like counterfeit, another counterfeit, a bank, and a ride? Ride is going to be quite nice. The horses could draw. They'll probably end up discarding it, which means it's in my shuffle and I get other nice stuff. I've also got the Transmogrify down, which I can do something with next turn. The advantage to Province, of course, is that it's a big money card and it's going to win me some chariot races. I could go like Province double ride or something. Bank, one can also Transmogrify a bank into Province later on. They've built a little bit more, so that incentivizes me to want to build a little bit more, which would mean counterfeit bank ride. Pick up probably a patrician with this cobbler. Don't really have anything else I want to pick up. I can also potentially turn this treasure trove or this silver into something else. Actually, we're pretty close here to a counterfeit pile out. So I'm going to watch for that in my turn. I think it's going to be tough for them to do, given that I have this small lead. Like the line I'm considering is you grab whatever, Transmogrify, you grab a Gardens with your cobbler, and then you Transmogrify into counterfeit, and then it's in your hand, and it only takes 15 money to pile out, and I've got 7 money in my hand to start. So if I can find either of the banks, counterfeits, other cards, I can fairly likely get back around to it and get enough victory. I need to get, 5 or 6 more money throughout the deck. Okay, I had a bit of a dud turn here, which is unfortunate. Didn't find any of their advisors at the top of this shuffle. I think probably they need to go for Province now, but it's a little bit sad because I'm going to have a bigger turn. Okay, they took a ride counterfeit. Okay, so I'm definitely now going for the counterfeit pile out. I'm going to take the Gardens, Transmogrify into counterfeit, and begin my turn. Weirdly, they're going to now deny me money cards if they realize that I'm looking to pile out. It's going to be fairly tough for them to do that. It doesn't take a lot for me to hit 10 here. I should not have played that advisor. That was dumb. I apologize for that. Okay. Click some provinces. Yeah, I played that turn a little bit slower than I could have, which was not terribly well sporting of me, so sorry about that, but just trying to click fast, and probably should have just paused and figured out I had it, and then the game would have actually ended faster. So, I don't know, they had a dud turn when it really mattered. If they got to 16 or something, they could have gotten a province and kept building, but unfortunately they had a tough draw there, and Probably they could not have bought that last counterfeit. It made the pile out too easy, but the way I drew, it would have hit it anyways. So good game there, and I'll see you in game 3.